What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome to the very first installment of the Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battles. Today we're going to be having a mixed tier match against a subscriber/follower on Twitter. JoAnna is her name. She's been asking for a while, and I had to get some items in order. So that's how we're kicking off this series. We're starting a completely new playlist. I'll get all that set up for you guys. The layout is even different than what we had going on for the Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battles, and you can still see both screens. We have in-game audio going on, so before I had, Glitch X City in there for copyright reasons, but I'm going to give it a go with the in-game audio again and see how far that takes us. If I have a problem with it again, we'll just go back to the music, or maybe I'll switch back and forth. I don't know, but it's nice to mix things up. Anyway, like I said, it is a mixed tier match, so we're just bringing a whole, mishmash of things. And as we're getting started today, just a friendly little reminder, of course, that if you guys haven't done so already and you'd like to show your support to the channel and the series and all that fun stuff, you can do so by showing your support in the likes. That helps out a lot when you give this a thumbs up, or if you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I love to hear your suggestions down there, or your tips, or whatever it may be. If you want to see specific Pokemon, you can put that down there. Try to take your suggestions as much as possible. As for our team, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner there, we have a Mega Manectric, which is actually a suggestion from you guys from a couple of weeks ago. I haven't done Wi-Fi battles in a while, but Mega Manectric is one that you guys wanted me to use, so I'm bringing it today. Then we have Vivian, the Vivian. Is going to be a sub-Quiver Dance set with Sleep Powder and Hurricane lefties, so that's going to be interesting. Then we have Choice Scarf Diggersby, so that pretty much rounds out our OU Pokemon with Manectric and Diggersby. Diggersby, I think, is technically BL, but you know what I'm talking about. Then we have Specially Defensive Empoleon with Defog and Stealth Rock. We have our Combuskin with Speed Boost and Swords Dance. That's always a lot of fun. And Tangles the Tangela is going to be our physical wall with Eviolite, of course. Power Swap, Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, and Sleep Powder on that. I'm noticing the Illumise on my opponent's team, which is very, very interesting. In fact, she may even lead off with it here. I'm not really sure. I don't know what Illumise does. I know it gets Prankster. The only time I've ever seen it really used is as a weather setter of some sort, like, Sunny Day, Heat Rock with Prankster, or Rain Dance with the Damp Rock. I'm not really sure, but she is leading off with the Illumise, as we are leading off with Sparks here, because I noticed that my opponent does not have any immunities to electric type moves. We do have to watch out for the Cradily Storm Drain as far as immunities are concerned. But anyway, we are going to Mega Evolve here, and I'm going to predict a switch, and I'll go for the Volt Switch and see what she wants to do. So we're going to get a meaningless Intimidate off on this Illumise, and it goes for the Protect. I guess to scout what we were going to do. Maybe she was expecting a hard switch. I'm not sure, but we do get the Mega off early in the match, which is great, because having that Intimidate around for later is going to help out. She's probably going to predict another Volt Switch here, so this time I'm going to change it up. We're going to go for the Overheat, and she does stay in, so that's great. We're going to get an Overheat off, but unfortunately we're going to get Toxic. I think she was predicting another Volt Switch there. I mean, I guess not. I guess not, because Prankster is a priority, so I don't know. But either way, we get an Overheat off. I'm kind of surprised that this Illumise managed to survive this. That had to have, like, some HP investment or something. Either way, we are Toxic, and we can go for a Volt Switch here, and we'll see if she wants to sacrifice this thing. She might go for Protect again, just to get a little extra Toxic damage. I'm not really sure. So we've seen just Toxic and Protect. So it's a utility set. It probably does have HP investment. But either way, we'll see what she wants to do here. She's going to throw up a Wish. Okay, so she's going to set up a Wish, and I don't know if that's really going to come into play, because the Illumise is going to go down. And that was one of the main reasons that I actually wanted to try to get Empoleon in somewhat early in the match to get rocks up. But with the Illumise gone, I don't know. It's not as much of a necessity, but we can still do it, because you don't know how much switching is going to be happening. You want to try to at least punish the switches a little bit. Her team really isn't that weak to Stealth Rocks. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the new game if you have it, whether or not you've beaten the game yet. I actually haven't at the time of recording this, so I don't have access to all the Mega Stones and all the items and everything, only just what I've been able to transfer over. in between other recordings, so I don't have everything, and my selection is a little bit limited, so you're probably going to notice that when we go over to Battle Spot and all that stuff. So we have Hector the Dusclops out here, and I feel pretty safe going for a Stealth Rock here. The worst that's going to happen is she's going to Will-O-Wisp me, and that's not the end of the world. No, she opts to go for the Pain Split, which actually does a little bit of damage because Dusclops really has no HP. Its HP is pretty low, even with investment, which, you know, every Dusclops has investment. So yeah, that is the thing, but we do have lefties, and now we can go for a Scald, and I don't think I want to go for a Scald 2 times in a row, so hopefully we can get a burn. No burn, and not only that, but we're going to end up being the ones that get burned because of the Will-O-Wisp. Now, with that Cradily around, as I said, I don't know, a few minutes ago, I can't just throw around Scalds, you know, nonchalantly. We need to be careful of that. I don't want Cradily switching in for free and getting that free boost and special attack. I don't know what Cradily is going to be running in the new meta, because it has some access to some different things now to move tutors and all that. He goes for the Protect, or she goes for the Protect, I should say. But Roar goes right through that, so we get to phase out the Dusclops. We are going to rack up a little bit of entry hazard damage as the opposing Empoleon comes out. His name is Cullen. Cullen the Empoleon, very interesting. This is an old Penguin standoff right here. Unfortunately, my opponent has a little bit of an advantage because of the fact that I'm burned, and I've already taken a little bit of damage there. Now, I think I might just want to Roar again. I don't have much that I want to switch in on this. I mean, I guess I could switch in Tangles, but I really don't want to take a Scald and get burned. So the opposing Empoleon probably doesn't have much to hit me with, so we may see a switch. I don't know. No double switch. She's just going for the Scald. That doesn't really do that much. So I'm guessing she might be not offensive, defensive as well, just because she has Scald. I don't know. Either way, we Roar again, and out comes Venus the Cradily, which takes a little bit of damage due to the Stealth Rocks. If we can get this switching in and out, we can get some nice passive damage off. I know Cradily could possibly be carrying their Recover. It really depends on what kind of set this is. But I can't really damage this thing. And by can't really, I mean I can't touch it, because Stealth Rock and Defog obviously aren't damaging moves. Scald is not going to work with Storm Drain being a thing. Don't want to give you a free boost. So I could Roar, or we could switch out Vivian here, because what are you going to go for? Giga Drain, maybe? I feel like that's a little bit reckless to just switch in Vivian here, because what if you go for Ancient Power? What if you're predicting? Or what if your only attacking move turns out to be like Rock Slide or Ancient Power or something? I don't know. I haven't seen enough to make that kind of a play. And there's the Rock Slide. It ends up missing, which really isn't that big of a deal because it would have been not very effective anyway. But it's a good thing we did not switch in Vivian there. That would have been a disaster. So Hector, the Dusclops, is going to come back out onto the field. We're going to get a little bit of lefties recovery, a little bit of burn damage. I think it's a net of like 6% or something like that of our total HP every turn. Because pretty sure that burn does 12.5%. And then the 6% for lefties, we get that back. So yeah, that's just basic math for you. I'm surprised I was actually able to do that while commentating, because normally if you ask me what 2 plus 2 is, I'd tell you 7. I really would. So we're going to switch out Empoleon here. I mean, I guess I could just stay in and Scald, but we're going to take this opportunity to try to get some offensive presence. That sentence did not work out. Anyway, the Nightshade comes our way. That does a whopping 50 HP. I mean, it does 50 HP every time. It's kind of how Nightshade works. And because of our lefties, I feel pretty comfortable here. And first things first, we want to set up a substitute. Because Cradily might be coming out to absorb the Sleep Powder. Well, at least that was my thinking, but she ends up just going for the Protect. Either way, that's fine, because we get up a free sub. And there was a couple of different scenarios there. Either she was going to switch the Cradily in, expecting a Sleep Powder, and we were going to get a free sub. She was going to Protect to see what we were going to do, and then we would get a free sub. Or she was going to Willow, and we get a free sub. So pretty much anything outside of Nightshade would have been a plus for us. Now we can go for a Quiver Dance. I don't know that do I want to go for Sleep Powder? I mean, it's too late anyway, so I don't know what I'm even talking about. It's not like this is a showdown and you can just go back and change your move. I wish you could, because I misclick a lot. Possibly because I go too fast sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, Luna, the shiny Gardevoir, comes out. I'm wondering if this is going to be the Mega. I could not think of the word, and I also misspoke because I told you I went for Quiver Dance. I actually clicked Sleep Powder because I'm not with the program. I'm concentrating on talking and not actually what's happening. Apologies for that. But now that we have this thing asleep, we can go for a Quiver Dance. And if we can manage to get 2 up, that would bode very, very well for us. Because then Hurricane might just one-shot this thing. Even though it's a Mega Gardevoir, we might come close with that little bit of baby damage from the Stealth Rock. Sometimes that makes all the difference. And Hurricane is Stab. You know, it's just, it's going to be good news for us. Alright, so we get the Quiver Dance off. This Gardevoir is still asleep. So we probably can just go for another Quiver Dance there. Is there really any reason to not? I don't think so. It probably has the T-Bolt. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably has the T-Bolt. Or Hyper Voice. Ooh, Hyper Voice could be scary because that's going to go right through my sub. But at least we have +2 special defense, so I don't think that will one-shot. I mean, we're pretty frail, but at +2, no. It turns out she does not have that. She probably has Moonblast instead. Either way, T-Bolt is going to break our sub. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that it would do less than 25%. It's a Mega Gardevoir for crying out loud against a Vivillon. Now, we really don't have much of a play. We have to go for Hurricane because, again, that Cradily can come out for free if we Sleep Powder. So I'm not going to play those games. I think we might be in the clear here to just go for the Hurricane and take it out. We'll see. Love that animation. Oh, no. Never mind. Never mind. The Gardevoir is going to survive. It's confused, but it still gets off a T-Ball. Hopefully we can take that. And no, we cannot take that. That could be a huge mistake. Maybe I should have went for the Sleep Powder. In retrospect, the worst thing that would have happened is that Cradily just would have come out for free on the Sleep Powder, and then what? I guess I hit it with a Hurricane. I mean, that probably wouldn't one-shot it either. And then Vivian would still be dead to a Rock Slide. So I guess it's just a matter of which Pokemon I wanted to do damage on. And having probably her most powerful offensive Pokemon weakened to this point is really good for us because we can bring out our Scarf Diggersby and we can U-turn, and there's really nothing that can be done here. She either needs to sacrifice this, which I would think she would do because... Oh, never mind. No, she is going to switch out. So when she comes back in on rocks, really anything will take her out. But it could be smart to keep it around. You never know. She might be able to get off a free hit on something. Or just save it for Death Fodder, which also could be very useful. And that U-turn did a lot of damage to this Sableye coming in. I'm guessing that's specially defensive, because that's an unstab U-turn. That was not even a critical hit. Gee willikers. I mean, I know that's Adamant Diggersby, but sheesh. Alright, so we'll go into Sparks here. I'm not worried about taking the toxic damage. We do get an Intimidate off. And we have a couple of options. We can Volt Switch to try to get some momentum. It depends on what we think this Sableye is going to go for. It could just go for the Recover. Because, you know, at least try to stall us out of a little bit of toxic damage, if, you know, and then either switch out the Sableye or let it go down and have something else come in and try to pick it off. Her team is fairly slow, though. Like, the priority that she had was with the Illumise and the Sableye. Mega Gardevoir is fairly fast at 100 base speed, but that's not outspeeding a Mega Manectric. My team, on the other hand, I really don't have as many defensive Pokemon as I would normally bring. I like to bring 3 Pokemon that have some bulk, and then the other 3 are usually pretty frail, just because I like balance. But I didn't do that this time. I only have 2 Pokemon that can really take hits. And one of my sweepers is gone already. Poor Vivian. I did not use her very well. For some reason, I just figured that a +2 stab Hurricane would take out that Mega Gardevoir, but it was just too bulky. Anyway, Venus, the Cradily, is back out here, and we've weakened this thing to the point where I feel like Diggersby can just come out and fire off an EQ, and that will just end its life. They're usually, if they're defensive, they're specially defensive. So I can probably just come in and lock myself into EQ. now that I think of it, I don't think that she has anything immune to EQ either at this point. I'm trying to remember her team. I probably should have taken a picture of my opponent's team. That would help, you know, but that's too easy. I mean, I guess we could U-turn too, but I don't see the point in doing that. I know it's super effective. Maybe I should have, though. Maybe I should have. That could prove to be costly if this doesn't kill. I guess we'll see. We're going to find out right now. Here comes the EQ, and Cradley's going to survive on like 2.5 HP. Are you kidding me? Oh, I hope that wasn't I don't know, something that had to do with a roll of the dice, so to speak. Damage roll, that's what I was trying to say, but it just would not come out. It went for Rock Slide? What were you predicting there? I wonder if that was a misclick. Because now we can just go for another EQ. We're going to finish off this Cradley. I feel like if you just went for a Grass Type move, like since you're physical, you could have went for the Seed Bomb. I guess that would be what you would carry. Unless you were predicting me to switch in the Combuskin, knowing that I'd be locked in EQ and that I wouldn't want to risk it. That could be a possibility. It could have just been an over-prediction. I do that all the time, so I know where you're coming from on that one. Out comes Cullen the Empoleon. Not afraid of this. You know, with our Scarf, we're going to be outspeeding a lot of things anyway. And if we're outspeeding a Mega Gardevoir, we're definitely going to be outspeeding this. So Empoleon goes down to the EQ. So we didn't really get to see Empoleon do a whole lot. All it did was Scald once, and then I think switch out after that. So Empoleon is out of the way. And I would bring out the Sableye. I don't know why you brought out the Empoleon. I think the Sableye probably would have been the better option there just for the Will-O-Wisp, if you have it. Not all Sableyes carried, of course. But the Mega Gardevoir is going to come out now. And looking at my team, it doesn't really seem advantageous to switch out at all. It's probably in our best interest to just stay in and take this thing out with an EQ. So Diggersby is putting in huge amounts of work. Huge amounts of work. And this team is actually gelling together a little bit better than I thought it would. Just with Diggersby and Mega Manectric, basically, they form a nice little Volt-turning core. I mean, it's only 2 Pokemon, but it's worked out so far. Alright, so Sableye is going to come out now, and I'm a little bit afraid of the Will-O-Wisp. So we have a couple of options. We can switch in our Combuskin, which is immune to the Will-O-Wisp. But I'm going to switch in our Sparks, the Mega Manectric here. I also cannot be affected by Will-O-Wisp because I'm already toxic. And Empoleon could have come in too because he's burned. So there's just status all over the place on my team. He's going to go for the Recover. And I think what I want to do here, I know we can Volt Switch, but I don't think that's going to do anywhere near enough. Because we saw how much U-turn did earlier to this thing. I would guess that this has some specially defensive investment. It might be in our best interest to go for a T-Bolt, especially if she thinks I'm going to go for a Volt Switch. She predicts that and goes for a knockoff because that'll do less. And we got the Intimidate off on this thing. So that is a plus. Yeah, T-Bolt does a nice chunk of damage, and there is the knockoff just as I had figured. We're going to take some toxic damage, of course. Brings us down to just about 50% of our remaining HP. And now we can go for a Volt Switch. And we'll see if you want to go for a Recover or if you want to switch out, how you want to play this here. Yeah, you're just going to Recover. It might be in our best interest to Volt Switch out anyway. Maybe. I don't know. Because I just don't want to be Toxic Stalled to death. That's the thing. And it's not going to matter because we score a critical hit, which has been unfortunate. There's been a little bit of hacks going on. Not like crazy meaningful hacks, but there's been a little bit. That critical hit definitely mattered. That Sableye was not going to go down because we saw how much T-Bolt was doing. And then there was that Rock Slide miss earlier on Empoleon, which didn't turn out to matter a whole lot, but it's just the main principle. You know, it's a 90% accuracy move. It's always a little frustrating when you miss one of those. So, I feel your pain there. So we're going to send out our beautiful Combuskin here against Hector, or Hector, depending on what his nationality is. The Dusclops. And we have Flare Blitz to hit him with. I'll go for the Swords Dance here. He's probably just going to go for the Nightshade. And I say he, not because of the trainer, but because Hector is a guy, you know. Talking about the Dusclops. He opts to go for the Pain Split. And does a little bit. Unfortunately, it brings us down to 99 HP, which means 2 Nightshades will take us out. So instead of going for another Swords Dance, it would actually be better for us to go for a Flare Blitz here, because with the recoil and because of the fact that Dusclops doesn't have a lot of HP, we won't take that much recoil, even if we do a lot of damage. So I think we will still be above the 50 HP mark, and this should be a 2-hit KO. And that is definitely a 2-hit KO. We have 77 HP remaining. There's the Nightshade. That'll take us down to 27. And on the next turn, we should be able to finish this up with another Flare Blitz. So Combustion picking up the last kill. And yeah, this team did work kind of well together. I'm going to be taking variations of this team onto Battle Spot too, just because, like I said, I'm trying to get some of these episodes out for you guys. I wanted to get these recordings going, but I don't have a lot to choose from right now because I'm still trying to record the LP at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But thank you very much for the match. JoAnna ended up being a 5-0 in our favor. The score is really just not something that I'm interested in, as I always say, because you can have a great match, a great match, and you end up getting 5-0 or 6-0 or whatever, so the score is not that important. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.